Witness P-0637 is the fourth among 9 witnesses summoned to appear before Trial Chamber 5A in the Ruto and Sang trial. He was granted protective measures including a pseudonym, image and voice distortion, and private sessions for some parts of his testimony. He testified through a video link from an undisclosed location in Kenya from 29th September to 6th October 2014. On the 4th day of his testimony, on the prosecution's request, the chamber declared the witness hostile. This means that the prosecutor could pose leading questions and cross-examine the witness. Answering questions from trial lawyer Alice Zago, the witness said that he was instructed on what to say in his statement by members of an undisclosed organization. In his statement, the witness said that in the area where his home is, most people were supporters of the ODM, Orange Democratic Movement, which supported the referendum on constitutional changes. He said that he attended an ODM rally in December 2007, at which about 20,000 people were present. In his speech at this rally, the witness said, William Ruto told the crowd to vote as one and that they should not be madoadoa or makwekwe. The witness understood this to mean that they should vote for ODM candidates on all levels. In the period leading up to the elections, the witness testified that the relationship between ODM and PNU supporters in his region was peaceful.
With regard to their relationship, they did not have any problem. They lived in peace with each other. But there's one thing that was talked about, and this was what Raila Odinga said before the elections. He said that if the ODM does not win the elections, there will be a bloodbath, a major bloodbath in Kenya. And that is why PNU supporters became afraid, and the fear spread throughout the entire region of Kericho.
And before this announcement by Mr. Raila Odinga, how was the attitude of the ODM supporters vis-a-vis the PNU supporters, and vice versa?
Before Mr. Raila Odinga made that declaration, we were living in peace with each other. There was no problem. There was no worry between us. We would talk to each other. We would share jokes. We would talk about politics. And in fact, there was no problem at all.
And how was the atmosphere at your location the day you voted?
I would say that there was a general feeling of tension at location number 14. I would say that that was also the case at location number 4. There was tension.
What was this tension about?
The tension began to be noted when people talked about a bloodbath. Then people became afraid, and some of them went to vote in the morning and subsequently went home.
Why were people speaking about the bloodbath that day?
Because they had just heard that Raila saying that were ODM not to be elected, there would be a bloodbath. So people understood that there would be a war.
A war between who?
A war between the members of the PNU.
Between the members of the PNU themselves, or between the members of the PNU and someone else?
There were two opposing parties, the PNU and the ODM. When Raila Odinga uttered those words, people understood that were the PNU to win, then there would be a problem.
Concerning his statement, The witness said that the first statement he gave was in September 2011 to 3 members of an undisclosed organization. He further said that he was given a list of people to incriminate as responsible for the violence, including William Ruto and some members of the parliament, as well as Joshua Arap Sang, and that they discussed his compensation. The money he was offered, he said, was a large amount, but in the end, he decided not to testify at all. During the cross-examination, Defense Counsel Essa Fal referred back to the witness's testimony at the court regarding Mr. Ruto using the words Madoadoa and Makwekwe in his speech at the 2007 rally.
With regards to the rally at location 3 in 2007, you never mentioned that Mr. Ruto used the words Makwekwe and Madoadoa. Is that right?
Ndiyo, sijawahi.
Yes, that's correct.
And the first time...
I never mentioned that.
And the first time you ever said that in relation to Mr. Ruto was in court when you gave your evidence in chief, correct?
Ndiyo, ni kweli.
Yes.
And I put it to you, Mr. Witness, that that's a fabrication. Mr. Ruto never used those words in the rally at location 3 in 2007. What do you say to that?
Ndiyo, hajawahi kusema.
Yes. He never mentioned it.
Why did you say that to the court in the first place?
Shughuli kubwa ilipokuwa pale ilikuwa mambo ya 3-piece. Kupiga kura kwa 3-piece. Wataki mchanganyiko.
People speaking about an election in 3 parts. And that was to confuse people so that there be no mixing. So that there be no mixing of it, corrects the interpreter.
However, the witness stood by his testimony that ODM candidate Raila Odinga had said that there would be a bloodbath in Kenya if he did not win the election, despite Defense Counsel Fal asserting that it was a fabricated story. He further said that he fabricated the notebook he gave to investigators to mislead the prosecutor into believing that Mr. Ruto organized post-election violence in the Rift Valley. Answering questions from Joseph Kipchumba Kigen Katwa, defense counsel of Mr. Sang, the witness said that all the information about his client in his statement was false and fabricated by the undisclosed organization that did the initial interview with him. He further added that he never listened to Kass FM and added that he would not be able to recognize Mr. Sang's voice. What is direct examination and what are leading questions?
Direct examination, or examination in chief, is performed by the party that called the witness, and during which leading questions, suggesting the answers or challenging his testimony, are not appropriate. Questions should be formulated in a neutral manner. However, when judges declare the witness as hostile, the party who initially called the witness can ask leading or closed questions. These are questions formulated such in a way that they suggest an answer or invite only a yes or no response. This leading questions technique, as well as the challenges to the credibility of the witness, are normally only performed by the party who is cross-examining the witness and not the party that called the witness, unless the judges declare the witness hostile or adverse or otherwise permit such questioning.